If you have been taught to believe in God, you have also been manipulated to disdain the gods. Therefore, here are the reasons why you must know the history of the gods. There are no two ways about that. We will share the reasons after we have demonstrated a brief history of the gods. And therefore, it is clear that billions of people today believe in God, and all of them are lost. Yes, it's correct that all of them are lost. However, it is very important that you discern on your own arguments, your counter arguments, and do thorough research, and then decide for yourself where the evidence points you to. We can give you books like Free from God to help you on your way and on your researches. It is a dictionary. At the end of it, there's a dictionary that deals with the deities, over 2,000 Hamitic deities, and every tribe, major indigenous tribe on earth, we have tried to supply the deities. For instance, if you look at the Twa, the Basarwa, so-called Bushmen or Khoi, we have given the gods, 10 gods. In this section, we are dealing and quoting only about 5. Kangen, Mantis men, Tsui, Goab, Heitzi, Ebib. And these gods, you must learn and know something about them. The original god come from ancient Africa. That is a point that is critical, because in ancient hieroglyphics we learn that the term for God or divine is represented by the hieroglyphic Neta, transliterated as Neta or Neja, Miyungu, Orisha, Unkulunkulu, Bamwari, or Chi. Today, over 73% of the earth practices Abrahamic religion, and they've got only one God. If you follow the history of that God, just like what scholar Billy Carson has demonstrated, Yahweh is Satan, and it is going to shock you if you listen to many of his podcasts and videos and read his books. So if you are concerned about all this, you must realize that when you go to information sources, they say Yahweh is pagan, and Yahweh was an ancient Levantine deity that emerged as a divine warrior fighting who? So these are the wars of the gods. It's a Canaanite god. When you look at El, out of which Allah comes from, or Elohim comes from, we are told and taught that he is the leader of Canaanite gods. The Canaanites were melanin-dominant human beings. They were Africans. This El lives on Mount Saphon. El is represented as an old man. Here, the wife, Yeshira. He sometimes appears with bull's horns, which symbolizes strength. So this is very important, because this El was the only God to whom Jacob bowed down, a jealous, mysterious God, too fearsome, he said, to be fashioned as an idol by human hands, too big to be contained by any place, even a place as big as the sky. So that's the claim of this God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He who exists later as Yahweh to the Hebrews, this El. So the etymology of the word God gives us the word Neta, nature, which is natural. So you can see his symbol is an X, meaning to wield power, to have force, to change things, to rule, the authority. And in our language, as melanin-dominant human beings, when we look at the level of the Netas, it is the Mondoro, represented with the Sphinx and the lion. But we need to give a little bit of explanation here, because spirit of the lion gives you a very low level understanding, because Mondoro, though called a spirit of the lion in Shona language, Karanga language, and biologically a lion, it must be called Shumba, but it's not called Shumba, because this Mondoro is an active spirit, more powerful than any ancestor, because it goes across tribes, across totems, across lands, over all the earth, and is equivalent to a deity, and hundreds of them exist as principles or forces or powers. They go beyond, right to the chasm, but they are not the totality of the unknowable creator, but they are a hierarchy above our righteous ancestor. They are also Netas. This word Neta, shown here, was translated in the Torah as El, meaning mighty, mighty strong, power, and it is a force, exactly like a power. So where do these gods point you to? I've already illustrated the way they should point you to themselves or to something else. Let us dispense with Yahweh and Jesus and Allah. If you are worshipping a deity or a god whom you are told is watching over you, and you are enslaved, colonized, and destroyed, there's something wrong there. So Allah, Jesus, and Yahweh, these gods failed us because the Arabic slave trade using the Quran and the religion of Islam colonized us and destroyed us and continues to look down upon us, does not love black people or melanin dominant human beings. You can watch this video, how Islam enslaved Africa, to learn Islam's dirty secret. And knowing this and always remembering these facts will save you from enslaving gods. And it will also be the issue and the question of why you must learn the history of these gods. Now, where do these gods come from? This is vital. Let's get some answers from some people now forgotten. You may have heard of the Sumerians. When you ask scholars and you do your research, you are told that these are people that are now not being known and unknown origins. But then when you read in history books, watch on internet, go on research, you find that they are depicted as Europeans. Nothing can be further from the truth, because the original Sumerian looked like him, melanin dominant person or Muntu or Bantu. Dr. Nahiu Osahon explains why the issue of the Sumerians is a problem, because they were Africans. Sumerians describe themselves as a black-headed people. If they were anything else, why would they find it important to describe themselves as black-headed? Does it mean that they were white-bodied and black-headed? Did they not leave any evidence of what they look like? White scholars dishonestly describe them as Anon. Another white lie is that the Sumerians introduced cuneiform writing. That's a lie. Both hieroglyphic and cuneiform writing were created by African Egyptians or Kemites or Africans. Hieroglyphic writings became popular in Hamit about 5,000 years BCE, and Naremera, the pharaoh and the king of Hamit, introduced cuneiform writing in 4100 BCE. Aitaitonus, Ethiopian king or Kushite king, took cuneiform writing to Chaldea in 4000 BCE. Don't forget that Nimrod was a Kushite. He ruled all over that area. Tammuz was a Kushite. He ruled over that area. Sumeria is Somalia today. So don't forget those facts. So all this is a lie. Because once scholars tell you this, then they have to explain where these people come from. So we'll deal with the Sumerian history later, because the black-headed people are still here. We are still here today. But we'll deal with their history. But today we want to look at the gods from Sumer. Anu is considered the supreme god, associated with the sky and the heavens, the Chazim, or the waters of Nyunyu. Enlil, also known as Jehovah, Yahweh, Set, Saturn, Zeus, Thor, Shiva, Reptilian, Naga, and Satan, is the ancient Hamitic god Shata. Enki, similar to Ankh by phonetics anyway. He saved humanity from a flood. It was Enki who came up with the idea of creation of man, a servant of the gods, made of clay and blood. But we already know the story is predated by Kamunu or Kamino, because the story of Kamunu goes to about 78 trillion years ago, where matter started to originate. And also, when you read our book Free From God, you realize the origins of the earth and the geology of the earth. And all these Sumerian explanations and also Sumerian gods will follow and fall in place clearly without any difficulties. Now, Ninkasag is also goddess Isisu, copied after Isisu, who was a goddess of fertility, motherhood, and healing and magic, associated with the earth and nature. Is the same god. Utu or Shamash. Shamash is Hebrew for sun god, is also Hebrew for a title of someone in the temple. The sun god associated with justice, truth, and divine judgment. That's Mahati. So you can see that these gods, the truth that they came from Kamit and went to Sumer and civilized Sumer. Let's look at Anu. This word Anunnaki, I want to explain it from a Bantu perspective. Anu means people, an ancient people. Their history is popular. They are the ones that popularized and populated the whole of Africa. Anu, Bantu, Vanu. Naku means good or nice. Or Nangu, meaning this is it, here is it. So Anunnaki for my understanding and our melanin dominant understanding as Bantus, is here are the nice people, or here are the nice humans. The Sumerian gods were believed to have emerged from the primordial waters of chaos, or Nyunyu, here, around here, Mkaha. That's why they are called, they came from the heavens. And their stories and interactions were chronicled in various myths and epics. The waters of Nyunyu interfaces the Chasm, pointing to a natural organic origin. Therefore, they are also good and evil deities that self-generated in the Chasm, and they started to create the universe. All of them are here. Very, very important. You must know the history of the gods. Let's look at the Dinka as they explain why. The Dinka, the largest ethnic tribe in southern Sudan, believe Nihalak is the creator and source of life. Is the nameless one, the one who may not, who is neither a spirit nor a being, a male or a female. We don't know. Anyone who tries to explain this is explaining another deity, not the one who is beyond knowledge. Contact to Nihalak takes place through spiritual divinities called Yati. This is from ancestral voices. So let's give the reasons why you must know the history of the gods. We just want to give 3, but there are more than 3. There are so many. 1, protecting your identity. Knowing the gods provides a framework for your understanding of the purpose of life and your existence on the earth, contributing to your deeper sense of your purpose and fulfillment, that your melanin is divine, that your carbon-based life forms your identity. So you don't play with that. Number 2, totemic chain enhancement. There are no totemless Africans. So knowing your identity connects you to divine entities and provides you a profound sense of spiritual fulfillment, individual deep sense of contentment, peace, and joy with spiritual beliefs and practice that takes you safely to the Chasm and beyond, contributing to your personal happiness. Number 3, no fear existence. Understanding the gods is worthy of a journey towards self-awareness and transcendence, leading to a feeling of unbreakable fearlessness even against any deity. This is important because it will help you when you die. This no fear existence. There are many reasons we can share on why you must know the history of the gods. But we want to summarize now and conclude. Number 1, protecting your identity means that your totemic chain enhancement leads you to African animism, where you explore the fascinating belief system of ancient African culture that puts you close to the Chasm and breeds no fear existence in you, where you have got total self-awareness and permanent transcendence, which makes you a person or an individual or a soul or a spirit that fears no God or ancestor. Neither can any god or ancestor or deity or divinity hinder your progress towards understanding the unknowable creator. Anything else, any deity that tells you that is the final and end of it all, is deceiving you, wants to take off and take over your energy and your spirit. This is why you must know the history of the gods. There is more we will share in future on this topic, which is very, very important. If you want to learn more, do not hesitate to email us on joel@marifado.com. Till we meet again, your manager Toby, please says subscribe to our channel, share this video, like it, leave a comment, because from your comments we learn what we are not learning, what we might not know. Amen.